Today, record that.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Okay, so today we are once again honored by the presence of Miss Dinh. She is a graduated mentor 6 in the inner being and the inner being specialist, a mentor, a coach, and a trainer in the philosophy of root education. I'm honored by your presence, Chị Hoa. I'm very grateful that you have graced us with your participation, and we look forward to your sharing today. So please go ahead. You can. I think you should be able to share the screen.
Thank you very much, Frank. Hello, everyone. I'm grateful that you are here in this Zoom. I'm very grateful that I have an opportunity to share some education that I learned. Okay, just want to ask my husband if he can make. Excuse me. Daniel, can you just lower the voice because I can hear myself talking to echo. Thank you. We have into two different room. Anyways, I'm very grateful for the philosophy that I have learned, and today I would like to share the principle of light. So, very grateful that you take the time to be here. Sharing, I would like to share that I would like to share the screen. So that will be sharing. And there we go. Thank you. So, hello. Just want to say hello, Frank. Hello, Ron. Hello, Ngọc Liên. Hello, Tiểu Thanh. Hello, Vân Thanh. And I need my glasses. And hello, Dr. Tuấn. Yes, just want to put my chat. Okay, the box here so I. Oh wow, he's from Hong Kong. I've been in Hong Kong before. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Tuấn. Awesome. So, principle of lights. The principle of lights. I would like to start to share something. In our life, we evolve, and our life is around 3 areas. Is we have we know about science. We know our life evolve about science. three corners. Let me share that one briefly. We have evolved about three areas we call science, and we evolve about religion, or faith, and then we say humanity, or philosophy. Philosophy. Right. So for science, we learn from school. We learn from we talk about science. Worldview. That's what I should say as well. Worldly view. Yes, worldly view. So we get taught worldly view. We get taught from schools, where life experiences, and then with religion, we believe in certain religion. That's how uh, we live a life based on more on this area, and some of us is based on philosophy. So this one we got taught, with internet, with schooling already, and this one we in this sharing, or in this yes, in this sharing, we're not talking about religion. So now we just concentrate on the philosophy about life. What I have learned is, because now science evolve and technology and even human we evolve, we learn so much about worldly view. And when in the past our ancestors, our grandparents, they know a lot about philosophy and they pass down to us, for somehow because of the advance in the modern society, this one is getting less and less being taught, or being presented. When I learned about this, and I was like, aha, wow, why not get to know all of that? Mm, then, because with this, what I find is, then we able to tap into ourselves, we understand ourselves better, than instead of going worldly view. We do need this for sure. We um, grateful for the modern technology and all the internet. Without it, we would not be here right now, especially on Zoom. So when we talk about philosophy, then I will presenting with you an analogy of it's. So the first thing is I would like to present you a boat, um, and then we will go into the topic of um, the principle of lights. I show you what I'll share with you what that really means. So pretend this is a boat. Mm-hmm. if you like anyone, you can share with me. You can join me to draw a boat. So this is a boat, and it's a person rowing the boat. And then, of course, when there is a boat, there is current. And for example, the boat is going from point A to point B.
To point B.
Yes. And there is the flow of the current. We put this as current. And so the boat is going from point A to point B here, and the current. And so if the boat goes with the current, with the flow, this is the flow, with flow, when the boat is go with the flow, it's more simple, and it's more simple to go from point A to point B, and then with when even the person without rowing the boat or without even engine, it's still more simple to go from A to B, more simple. And then if it goes the opposite current, the person has to row very hard. For example, if it goes against the flow, it goes against the flow, then they have to row very hard, or even with the engine, it's very harder. So this represents an analogy to represent about our life. When we allow it to go from point A to point B with natural law and natural principle, then life is then we live in life in a more simple way. And if we go very hard and strive and then struggle, then it seems like we're not letting it go with natural flow. So that's an analogy, and now we call that is natural laws, or the laws and principles. So this means it's laws and principles, but with the you allow it to be naturally principles and law. Principles and law. So that is just analogy. in our life, this is analogy about that. So again, the when we go against the laws and principles, we pay the price, and we have to make a lot of effort and resources. We pay the resources and the price, and there's a lot of effort to go against the laws and principles. So I would like you to share with you the next slide is
you can go with, you can join in. Please join in to do the drawing if it's convenient for you. Excuse me. So imagine pretending this is a room and pretending this is the dark room. This is a dark room, and so can anyone tell me when you're in a dark room, what would you do? Excuse me. What is the simplest way to brighten up the room? Anyone in the Zoom? Anyone here?
Turn on the light. Bring in the light.
Yes, turn on the light. Yes, even a child who's 3 years old or 2 years old, they come into the room when it's dark room, they automatically reach up the light or point at the light. So bring in the light. Now, is it possible to remove the darkness? Instead of turn on the light, is it possible to remove the darkness? Can you remove the darkness? Remove the darkness. So, we all know that it's impossible to remove the darkness. And now we bring in the light. Is to brighten. Bring in light. As Ron said, yes. So instantly the room will be brightened. So this is duality in our life. There's always dark and light. So when you turn on the light, the darkness disappears. And then if you turn off the light, the darkness presents. So not as a human, this is representing about our life, representing our problems or struggles, is that when most of us or some of us, when we have challenges or struggle with life, which is it represents the darkness, then we try or we do our best or do everything to solve that problem. It's the same as removing darkness from a room. So the best way is to bring in the light. And how do we bring in the light is the next thing. So I would like to go with the next graph here is we draw a house, pretending there's the wall, and then this house, on the base, the foundation, we call it inner being. And on the left here, it is representing the health. and relationships. Relationships. And then finances. Finances on the roof of the house. So when a person who have challenges with their inner being, it does affect their finances. So basically in our life, with some of us, when we have so much struggle, that we think there's so many problems. Now with this philosophy, I learned is we narrow it down. Basically there's 4 areas of life that affect our life, which is the self, mentality, which is the inner being, and health and finances and relationships. Once I know that, I feel it's more simple to narrow it down. What are the problem is? What are the problems? And relationships, that's including family, parents, children, and then health, which is presented itself there. So we have how to if a person who has mental challenges, mentality, it affects the relationship, it affects finances, and of course it affects the health. If a person who has trouble with the relationship, it affects inner being, it affects finances, and also it affects the health. And so vice versa, if the person is having challenge with health, it affects the inner being, it affects the finances. So all of this, thank you, darling. All of this works together. It does affect in any of the area we get affect it will affect the all other 3 corners. So same thing, if we have a person has finance problem, affect health, affect inner being, affect relationship. Health is the most important, is that if a person, and the same thing, relationship. For example, a person is not feeling well, and wants to play with their children, with his or her children, the person does not have even the ability to be with their children. So what is this graph present is there's always duality and dark and light. So how do we bring light into this room? That's the question. How do we bring light into this room so we are aware what affect which area is that the person is being challenged with, and then being aware of that, then how to balance this as well. So I would like to share with you the next graph. Hello, chị Tâm Phúc, thank you for joining us today. So
Thank you, cô Hart.
Yes, thank you. So the next graph I would like to present to you, to share with you is, so how do we bring light into the room? That's using the philosophy. How do we bring light in our life? So The next one I will share is you have a chance, you can share, join in to this is I'm going to draw a bigger house right here. So again, this is inner being. And this is on the base is inner being. On the left is we call this is health. And on the right hand side is relationship. Relationships. Borrow the room here. And on the top is finance. Finance. So I find this is when I learn about this graph is that this is the most important graph in our life. When I'm just concentrate on this graph, then I can pinpoint in what is that I can turn the light, turn the can. I say this is the turn on the candles. So we call this house of Hollis, house of holistic health and wealth. What I find is one of my teacher is saying that you can remember all the graph in the world, but this is the best graph to remember. Then in that way, we run our life with a more simple. So in the middle, I put this. We call diagonal graph, and then I connect this one to this. And what I do is I call wisdom right on the see this one, the lines. We divide it in 7 areas, and it will call the first middle one here on the lower middle one is wisdom. Wisdom. On the left we call mentality. Mentality. And the right we call character. And then physical is on the left, top left. Here is we call physical or health. And then competency. How do I use this here so I have enough room? Competency. And then finally in the middle top we call material. Here material, or wealth. The middle part is so important. We call it virtual. Right. So this is the complete of the graph. And what I find is this is the most important. If you can remember anything, this is the best graph that you can give for remembering about how our life runs. And so what I got to learn is how do we light at the house of holistic health and wealth. We light up all the 7 candles, the candles of wisdom, the candle of mentality, the candle of character. How do we do that? And the candle of health, competency, and material, and candle of virtue. I put that right in there. So, and there's a flame. The candles. How do we light up these candles? This is it. This is for our life, is how to light up the candles in the house of holistic health and wealth. So, how to enrich this all 7 areas of life, especially the sixth one. And then what if let's say every day I live my life with awareness of wisdom, and then aware of my mentality, and in other words, how's my attitude? Do I look sad or happy? And what's my character? What my character looks like? And do people like to be around with me? So every day I'm aware of what's going on with my surrounding and my inner being, my well-being. Then if I keep an exercise program, how is my physical health? And then pay attention to the healthy way of eating, and then we achieve to become every day what my work, how good I'm at work. And then all of this, when I light the and my virtual, which is also in other words, it's also integrity in there. If I every day I'm aware of my 6 of these areas of my inner being, or myself physically, or physically and mentally, the wealth and material, I attract the material and wealth. So if I'm healthy, I'm very happy. When I'm at work, I'm more productive. So this is it's so important to realize how our life runs every day is to light up the 6 candles, and then automatically the candle of material or wealth, we attract. All right. Any questions there? Does anyone have any questions? Thank you. Thank you for being here. All right. So the that is going, I'm going to share with that for today. I would like to, next session is how are we in more detail about how to light up all these candles in a more detail in in the different categories in different areas for the for presenting. This is as again the principle of light. How do we bring the light into our life instead of go and solve to the problem, instead of go and for example somebody is not so for example a person is not so healthy. Instead of going and exercise and eating healthy, we use a lot of vitamins, and then eating not so good or not physical exercise, and wishing that it's healthy. It's not. It's only a temporary, or being not healthy, not being sick, and go and get it fixed. It's only a temporarily thing. Instead of maintaining with a physical healthy program, then that is lighting the candle in this area of everyday of that. And also for the wisdom, every day we listen to the healthy material instead of watching some movie that is just so unhealthy too. Then that affect our mind as well. So the wisdom bring some good wisdom, listening to the teachers who has wisdoms, give you wisdoms to the life. So that is another way to light the candle too. So all these 6 areas, every day we can concentrate even little by little bit of each, being even aware of it. Then we build up this house strong. All right. So I would like to stop to share for today, and then next time we'll go further into how, in more details, how to light up the house of holistic health and wealth. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening and being here, so we can understand and learn about this information. Does anyone have any questions or any curiosity?
Thank you so much, chị Hoa. It seems that you have a pretty good grasp, okay, yeah, of the material, of the knowledge, your ability to present the material in a fairly clear and concise manner. It shows that you have been studying, and things have been making sense. Okay, so that is very wonderful. Okay, thank you for your the gift of your presentation today. Let's go ahead and show the boat. I have some comment. Okay, so show the boat.
Yes,
So we
thank
have
you.
mentors in the class, so I want to make some comment to give everybody a chance to learn and improve our sharing. Okay.
Yes.
So when we are drawing, we want to make sure that we label it completely. Okay. So make sure you write the word boat, in case people, somebody may come in a little late, and they might not be familiar with certain cultural images, so just write the word boat. Okay. And remember that in this philosophy we have a methodology. The methodology is the way that we can transmit our reality to other people, right? One way that we transmit our reality to people is by drawing. Okay, it is a mental image that we can offer to other people, and when a person have a clear mental image of something, that would if they have a clear enough mental image, they would actually have a reality of it. Okay, so this methodology involves clear mental image. So drawing is important and labeling is important. Okay, and let's see. The second part has to do with the key point of knowledge and the key point of awareness. Okay, in order for us to cause a expansion of awareness, let me go ahead and draw. Let me share my screen real quick. Okay, where's my screen share? Share second camera. Let's see. Second camera. Okay, there's my screen. So this is an important point that all mentors, or any, it doesn't have to be a mentor, anytime that we communicate with another person, could be our children, could be our co-worker, and we're trying to get a point across. And what we're trying to do, if we are trying to help another person experience a life that is maybe different or better than what they're experiencing now, then what we're really doing is not just sharing knowledge. That is the kind of knowledge that we learn in school. Okay, so there's two types of knowledge. There is knowledge. Let's just write the word knowledge. Okay. There are two types of knowledge. One type of knowledge is the stuff that we learn in school. We get information, and everything that we learn is very informative. Okay, that's great. The informative knowledge, and it helps us get ahead in the world, help us understand the world, help us to get ahead. But here, we notice that we go through many years of school, and even though we learn more things every day, we gain more knowledge, we gain more information. We turn on the TV, we read books, we go take courses, we get new certificate, new diploma, new degrees, and we acquire information. We acquire informative knowledge. But after a while, after many years, we look back and we wonder how much improvement has it contributed to our life. If anything, the improvement or the change seem to be small. Okay, and a person who has a lot of informative knowledge may not necessarily be happy. They may not necessarily be healthy. They may not necessarily have a harmonious and desirable relationship, even though they have a lot of informative knowledge. They may not have peace. Okay, those are the bigger, ultimately important questions that people ask, and that want to strive toward. Ultimately, what life is about, what makes life worth living. What makes life worth living is not so much the information that we acquire, but what makes life living depends on the kind of knowledge that expand our awareness. Okay, expand our awareness, elevate our wisdom, and give us a life that is different than the life that we have before. So it is transformative. Okay, let's just write it bigger down here. So we're talking about transformative knowledge. Okay, transformative knowledge. What we're doing here is we are sharing transformative knowledge. Not so much information. Everybody knows about wisdom, everybody knows about character, everybody knows about mentality and physical health, mental health, care, all of that. Everybody know all of that already. But their life didn't get any better. So how do we help a person take what they already know and experience a life that is actually better than what they have now? It is transformation. It is a process of transformation. It is transformative knowledge. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're sharing transformative knowledge. So one of the intention that a mentor or anybody, when we sit down and do a sharing, or when we just talk to a person in the elevator, our intention, our heart intention has to be clear that after this conversation, that person is going to be transformed. Okay, how are they going to be transformed? Not by giving them more information. You can give a person a book and they'll read it and they may not learn anything. Their life may not change. But how are we going to transform another person in a positive, desirable way so that their life will become better? Is number one is the intention that, oh, this conversation has to be transformative. Okay? And the way to make a conversation or knowledge sharing transformative is to keep in mind that in order for a person to transform, we have to expand their awareness. Okay, expand their awareness. Okay, expanding awareness. Adding more information just gives you more knowledge, gives you more information, but your awareness may not expand. Okay, the way you look at things and would be the same. Okay, do you notice that every day we encounter a lot of information, but the way we look at life, our perspective, our perception, our awareness doesn't really change, and therefore our life doesn't really change. But if a person's awareness shift, then the way their thinking is going to change, and their mental attitudes is going to change, and their behavior is going to change, and then their life will change. And so what we're doing is we're trying to expand a person's awareness, because you have to keep that in mind. Number one, it has to be transformative. You transform a person's life by expanding their awareness, elevating their levels of wisdom. Okay, remember the declaration in the mentor program. Okay, I am a person of value. Expanding awareness, elevating wisdom is what I do. Okay, so how do you do that? How do we expand a person's awareness? Okay, well, it turns out that our methodology does that at every step of the way. So in order to expand a person's awareness, what you first do is we have to establish existing awareness. Okay, first you establish existing awareness, where a person is right now, where the perception are. Okay, we get the participant to sort of come to a clear understanding of where they are right now, and then you break it. You break it, and then you break it. Okay, it's called. Okay, you call them a breakthrough. You break their paradigm, break the way of looking at things, and so they would end up with a new paradigm. Okay, new way of looking at things, new way of understanding, and thereby their life would change. And so this part is the critical part. So this part is the critical part. Okay, and of course establishing the existing awareness is important too. In fact, the more clearly we can establish a person's existing awareness, existing paradigm, the more clearly we establish, and then more strongly we break it, the more likely a person will actually take on a new paradigm. If the existing awareness isn't so clear, then they don't know where they are right now, and it's going to be hard for us to bring them to a new reality, to cause them a new paradigm shift. Okay, this is called a paradigm shift, right? Paradigm shift, a cognitive shift. Okay, so we can go back to the picture of the boat, for example. Okay, so the picture of the boat, every picture that we draw is a process of breaking through, helping a person shift their paradigm. It's not just a picture for the sake of a picture. On the one hand, yeah, it is a mental picture. Okay, to create a clear mental image will help a person paint a better picture of their life. But every picture and the way and the step-by-step way in which we lead a person through this process is a process by which we break their current paradigm and we offer them something new and better. Okay, so we draw the boat. This is how we establish the current paradigm. First, we just draw a boat. We say, hey, okay, this is a boat. Please, draw with me. Okay, and that's you've done that great. Okay, I'm just gonna go real quick. I'm not gonna spend time making the boat. So make sure you label it. And here, this is a step-by-step process in which we can walk a person through establishing their own paradigm and come to a new shift. Say, imagine there's this boat. Here's an important part. Don't draw the person yet. Okay, there's a step-by-step walkthrough that you can, you can hold a person's hand, basically walking them through a new reality. Okay, you just thought this is a boat. Okay, imagine a boat. The boat is on a river. Okay, that's it. So when we say it, we want to be very clear and concise in our words and our choice of words, and we're painting the picture as we draw. So you can imagine a person who's listening to this recording without seeing the Zoom. Right? All of us here have probably listened to a recording, and even though we didn't see the picture, we have the picture in our head because the person who's talking, who's drawing, is actually describing it. Okay, so visually your speech has to be clear and concise in painting a picture. Imagine there's a boat. The boat is floating on the river, and this river has a current that goes from point A to point B. Right? Three statement. That's it. And it already painted the whole picture. There's a boat, there's a current, and the current has the boat has a river, the river has a current that goes from A to B. Okay? That's already a picture. So by taking your time, you can slow down, taking your time, picking, choosing your word to be clear and concise. You are establishing a person's awareness at this moment in time. Okay, there's a boat. The boat is floating on a river. The river has a current that goes from A to B. Okay, and so you can draw the arrow from A to B. Okay, and then the next step. Okay, this is important awareness that we are establishing, that we need to get a person's agreement on. Okay, would you agree that if the boat just float on the river, it'll go from A to B? Very simply. Okay, we're establishing that which is obvious, that which is part of a person's awareness. If the boat just float on the river, it'll go from A to B. Okay, very obvious, simple to agree with. Now this is where you add to the picture. Okay, now imagine if there was a person on the boat. Not only is this boat floating on the river from A to B, but if there's a person, and this person is rowing the boat, and the person is rowing the boat along the current. Of course, I have to make sure I label it right. So there's a current. So imagine there's a person, and the person is rowing this boat along with the current, okay, with current. Then you can imagine that the boat will go from A to B more quickly. Okay, very simple. Use few words, but you can paint a clearer picture, cause a person to have a mental image of that boat going faster than if it's just floating around. Because now there's a person rowing the boat from A to B. And then you build on that picture. Now imagine if there's a motor. If you put on a motor, you invest resources and technology. Okay, this is, the part of the methodology of walking through a person painting a picture. Keyword is investing resources and technology into on this boat, and you can imagine the boat going really, really fast from A to B. Okay, so there's a boat floating along the river. It'll go from A to B. A person putting some effort, that's rowing. A person investing resources, a motor, technology. The boat can go from A to B very, very fast. So there's a whole picture. Okay, so there is an awareness. Oh yeah, okay, so this is awareness. And next is the next part is where we begin to break that picture. We say, okay, there's another possibility. There's another possibility that you can actually go against the current. Okay, you can go against the current. Okay, you can try to go from B to A. Okay, you can try to go from B to A, but if you make no effort, if you try to go against the current and you make no effort, can you do it? No. That's also another established awareness. You cannot go against the current without any effort. So you have to make some effort. You have to row the boat against the current and go from B to A. You can get to where you want against the current. You can invest resources. You can invest resources and technology, put on a boat, a motor, row the boat, invest all of that effort, right? Effort, a person rowing the boat, resources, technology. You can invest effort and resources and technology in going against the current, and you can go from B to A. That's fine. You will get there. However, okay, key point. However, this is where you start to break it. However, the moment that you stop putting in the effort, or the moment that you stop investing in the resources, what would happen? The boat would float backward to where it was before. And so you wasted all that effort. You wasted all that resources. Okay, that is a key point of awareness. Okay, so if you invest resources and effort in going against the current, you can get to where you want, but there is a price to pay. You wasted all those resources and effort if at the moment that you stop putting in the effort. Okay? And now we make the connection. So that is just the analogy. Now we can make the connection with real life, with the principle. This boat represents our life. Okay? This boat represents our life. And the current represents principles and laws. Okay? This boat represents our life, and the current represents principles and laws. They could be, social principles, social law, but here we're interested in universal principles and natural laws. Okay, those are the things that govern our life, that govern human life and experience. Okay, earlier on you mentioned the 3 point of view. There's a point of view of the material world, the worldly matter. There's a point of view of religion, spirituality, and then there are the human life and experience. And human life and experience are governed by principles and natural law. If we are wise enough to align ourselves with universal principle and natural law, floating with the current, we will get from A to B very quickly. We will get from where we are to where we want to. We can invest resources and we will get to where we want very quickly, very simply, okay? Very rewarding if we align ourselves with principles and natural laws. But if we go against the current, if we try to defy principles and natural law, we can still get where we want. We can still get where we want. But we have to expend a tremendous amount of effort, and we have to invest tremendous amount of resources to get where we want. And the moment that we stop, we go backward. Okay? And yeah. So just by saying that, you help a person expand their awareness that, oh yeah, all my life I have been putting out effort. I persevere. I work hard to go from one point to another point, but I may have been trying to go against the current. That is why when I experience trouble, for example, or something like that, and I may have put in a lot of effort, but I end up finding that I wasted a lot of time and money. In some cases, people wasted their health. For some people, they lose relationship. Those are the price that we pay for going against the current. The price that we pay for trying to get to where we want without aligning with universal principles and natural law. Okay, with current you can say the word aligned. Okay, let's add the word aligned. Okay, so we have now we have a new awareness. Okay, a person who's listening, oh wow, they may have a realization, oh wow, all this time, all my life I've been working really hard and I've encountered challenges, I've encountered difficulties. Well, maybe because I may have been going against the current. I may have been going against some principles and natural laws, and even though I got to where I wanted, I had to pay the price. Pain, suffering, loss of resources, loss of time, loss of health, loss of relationship. Okay, so when we end this picture, we want to end with that awareness that you do pay the price if you go against the principles and natural laws. And once we end with that, we connect it to the next one. So we have to ask the question. We have to help the person ask the question. It is the creation of an inquiry. Okay? By creating an inquiry or helping a person come up with an inquiry, we can help them answer the important questions of their life. Many people experience undesirable circumstances in their life, but they ask the wrong question. So as a mentor, you help a person come up with a question that will bring them closer to what they want in life. Okay, which is ultimately a holistic health and holistic wealth, and desire a life of happiness and peace. So you ask them the question, okay, so now that we have agreed that aligning with the current, aligning with principles and natural law will help us get from point A to point B more simply without having to pay the price. So the question is, what principles and natural law? Okay, you establish the entire context, make the person curious, right? What are some principles and natural law that we need to align ourselves with? Then you can introduce the next one. Okay, you can introduce causality. You can introduce, okay, so here is the law of we have a principle. Here we want to share with you the principle called the principle of light. You can write it first or you can write it after, it doesn't matter. Principle of light. Okay, principle of light. And chị Hoa did a wonderful job. Okay, you draw the rectangle. You ask the participant, okay, draw this rectangle with me. This rectangle represents a dark room, and you did a great job of labeling it. Okay. Imagine this is a dark room, and chị Hoa, you did a great job when you said, what is the best way? What is the simplest way to bring light into the room? Okay, what is the simplest way to bring light into the room? And then the participant, most people is gonna say, oh yeah, I need to flip the switch. If they don't have all the answer, we can suggest, we can offer a suggestion, like some people would say turn on the switch, we can say open the window. What we want to do is paint the picture of bringing light into the room. Flip the switch, open the window, okay, turn on the candle, bring light into the room. You wanna use like 2 or 3 examples to paint the picture of bringing light into the room. Bring light into the room. Bring light into the room. Okay, now we establish, once again, we establish an awareness. Oh, okay, yeah, we bring light into the room. And because this is a principle of light, one part that you need to say is that principle of light has this duality. You have to mention the duality. Okay, light has a duality. Wherever there's light, there's no darkness. Wherever there's darkness, not enough light. We have to establish that awareness that light and darkness has this duality to them. Okay, the clearer you can establish that context, the clearer you can help a person become more aware when we expand their awareness. Okay, so light has this duality to it. Wherever there's light, no darkness. Wherever there is darkness, not enough light. And so we agree that the best way to brighten up the room is to bring in light. Okay, bring in light. And then we have the person clarify the concept, and this is where you can say, well, because light has the duality, wherever there's light there's no darkness, wherever there's darkness not enough light, then you can argue that if somehow we can remove the darkness, if you can somehow remove the darkness, then the room would brighten up. This is our chance to ridicule that awareness. We basically state something that is obviously stupid and doesn't make sense. Right? If you can somehow remove the darkness, then the room would brighten up. We state it, but we show a person that is a ridiculous concept. You can say it in theory, in concept. If you somehow remove the darkness, you can bring in light. But in reality, you want to emphasize that in reality, can we somehow remove the darkness from this room and expect the room to brighten up? And you have to get the participant to agree that no, you can't. You cannot. Okay? You have to get the person to agree that you cannot remove the darkness from this room. There's no way to remove the darkness. The only way is to bring the light into the room. Okay? And so we kind of set it there for a minute. Okay? So then we with the transition we say, okay, let's take a look at our life. Let's take a look at our life. And so you draw So I invite the participant. Let's draw a picture of a house. Okay, and this house represents our life. Okay, this house represents our life. And previously, we think of life can be very complicated. Okay, we have so many problems, so many things to deal with, so many issues, so many challenges. But fortunately for us, okay, every statement has a shift in awareness. The awareness is life is so complicated, but here we're going to break it. We're going to say, well, it turns out that life is not all that complicated. Okay, fortunately for us, the wise people, successful people, happy people have taught us that there's really only 4 areas of life that we need to deal with. The areas of our inner being, the areas of our health, right? Yeah, health. The areas of relationship, and the area of our finances. Right? So we establish an existing awareness that, oh, life is complicated. Most people think of life as complicated, but we break that when we say, well, it's actually really simple. We're actually declaring a different perception that life is actually very simple. It is only involving 4 areas that we need to deal with. The areas of our inner being, the areas of our health, the areas of our relationship, and the areas of our finances. And you will find that whenever we have any problem, we just take a look, and we will discover that we are having problem in one of these areas, or the combination of them. And so now you can begin to make that connection, right? If your inner being is in trouble, it'll affect our health. If our inner being is in trouble, it'll affect our relationship. If our inner being is having problem, it'll affect our finances. Okay, and we can come up with example. For example, if we're depressed, then our physical health is go down. If our inner being, which involve our mental attitude and our character, if we have a character problem, that's going to affect our relationship. Okay, if we have a nervous breakdown, then we're not going to be able to make money. So you go through the whole thing, and you make the connection that every problem in life revolves around these 4 areas, and they are interconnected, because usually when one part is in trouble, the other part is also in trouble. If our physical health is in trouble, we get COVID, for example, then immediately that's going to affect our inner being. We're going to be pretty depressed and sad. If our physical health is in trouble, it's going to affect our relationship. It's going to affect our ability to make money, affect our finances. And vice versa. When we are in trouble with our finances, guess what's going to happen with our relationship, our health, and our inner being. So each of them, we can take the time to show an example. You can show it in a negative example and a positive example. For example, if our health is in trouble, if we get COVID, our health gets in trouble, we're going to be pretty sad. We're going to be pretty isolated. Our inner being is going to be affected negatively. We're not going to be able to go to work, so we lose money. Our finances is affected. We're isolated from people, so our relationship is affected. That is a negative example. And then if you want, you can show a positive example. On the other hand, a person who is healthy in mind and body and spirit, their inner being has peace. Do you think, you as a participant to imagine, do you think that a healthy, happy person is going to have more chance to make money? Yeah, we established that for them. Yeah, they're going to have more chance to go to work, make money, build relationship, social relationship, business relationship. Who want to be in a relationship with a person who's sick and sad all the time. People want to be in a relationship with healthy and happy people. So you can paint a picture of negative possibility, and you can paint a picture of positive possibility. And then we have to go back and we make that connection. Okay. Earlier on, we said that the simplest way to brighten up the room is to bring light into the room. But as human being, okay, this is a key line that you want to say. As human being, we often make the mistake of trying to remove the darkness and expect the light to come into the room. We make the mistake of removing darkness by trying to fix the problem of our life. If we're sick, that represents a darkness in the area of our life, in our health. If we're sick, it represents the darkness in the areas of our health. What do? We try to remove the illness. We try to fix the illness. If our relationship is broken, that represents darkness in the areas of our relationship. What do? We try to fix the relationship. If our finances is in trouble, that represents darkness in the area of our finances. What do? We try to fix the finance. We get a second job. We transfer credit card balance. While those may fix the problem temporarily, but you trade health, you trade relationship, you don't actually fix the problem. We fix the problem, but the darkness doesn't actually go away, because the principle of light says that you cannot remove darkness. You can only bring light into the room. That is why we go through life paddling, rowing against the current for so many years, and our life doesn't really change that much. Why? Because we keep on trying to remove the darkness. We keep on trying to fix the problems of our life. We have to establish that. That is an awareness. Okay. Before now, people was not aware that, we're not aware that I've been trying to remove the darkness. We want to show the participant that, what we've been doing is kind of ridiculous. Ridiculous, detrimental. If we can get them to realize the impact of the ridiculousness of trying to remove the darkness from their lives by trying to fix the problem. For example, if we have some illness, we expect the doctor, we go to the doctor and we expect the doctor to give us some medication and to remove the illness, right? We get sick, we take medication to remove the illness. We get cancer, we go to the doctor and we expect radiations and surgery to remove the cancer. But if we don't if we don't bring the light into our health, if we don't get healthy, then even if we remove the illness, even if we remove the cancer, some other problem, some other health problem is going to come back because we're not healthy. We can even quote the World Health Organization definition of health. Right? Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Okay? Here I emphasize the second part, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Because a healthy person is not sick. That's simple to understand. I establish an understanding, right? I establish an awareness. A healthy person is not sick. But here's when I break it. A person who's not sick is not necessarily healthy. A person who's not sick is not necessarily healthy. We can remove our illness or infirmity, but if we don't get healthy, then the illness is going to come back. And so we paddle against the current, and the moment that we stop the effort, then we float right back. Right? So you see at every step of the way, you will establish an awareness, you break it, expand it, give them a new perception, a new awareness, something that is bigger than what they knew before. Okay, and once they get the idea, removing the darkness is a bad idea. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Going against the current doesn't work. You pay the price and you get very little return. And that's why we experience pain and suffering. Then we offer them a question. How do we bring light into the room? Because here we talk about darkness. Okay, here we talk about problems. This is whole thing. All these are all the problems of life. So how do we bring light into the room? By initiating, by inventing that question that they may not have had before, you help the person opens up for a new possibility, a new awareness, and so you go in and you draw the big, the big house. And you ask the participant, go, please draw with me again this house this time bigger, and you go through and say, okay. Instead of removing the problems of our lives, we bring light into our house. We bring light by lighting up the candle of wisdom, lighting up the candle of mentality, lighting up the candle of our character, lighting up the candle of our physical health, our competency, and our material well-being. Light up the candle of our virtue. Okay, when our house is full of candles of these great things, then the darkness will just go away. It is not that we remove the darkness, we leave no room for darkness to exist. That is a shift in awareness, a new paradigm shift. We don't remove the darkness, we just bring in light, and when there's light, there's no room for darkness. Okay? And then there's more that you can you can expand that next time if you want. You can talk a little bit more about that house and use the different example of the roof and the walls and the presence of multiple candles instead of one candle. Okay. Did you get that? Which anybody?
Yes.
Yeah. What
It's
did you get?
awesome. Yes. Especially when the knowing this is only basically 3 graphs. It has a lot of information in it, especially the boat.
Yeah.
So much information of guiding, and I really it helps me a lot is the knowing their shifting their paradigm, shifting the knowledge, and this is guiding like almost like 101 teaching, showing them there is a more simple way to go through life instead of thinking of there's so many troubles and challenges in life. Yeah, instead of so many struggles, there isn't. There is just narrow it down to 4 areas. Shifting these paradigms. There's so much information in here. It's just in the last 10 minutes you're talking. It's like what? and also when I said this before and I say it again. Every time I present things, it open, more door open, brain is more open, more information come in. And it's almost like I listened to this and I did this a couple times before, and it's more, well, yes. So the paradigms, the guiding them, bring the, by lighting up the candles of the 6 the 3rd paragraph, the house of holistic health and wealth, by lighting those candles, represent the bring light into the room. Referring back from the graph, the diagram number 1 to number 3, connect. All of it is so interconnected. Even skip a point, it's just not so good. So everything is so valuable. I'm just in awe. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. A picture is worth 1,000 words, but in this technology, we get to use words to paint the picture as well. And so yeah, when I first studied this philosophy, people said that there is a lesson every 15 seconds. Okay, I didn't quite get that. I would listen to the whole 2 hours and I only got 1 point, one idea. But every time we go back, it's the same lesson, it's the same drawing, it's the exact same person talking, but we get a new paradigm shift. Why? Because our own awareness has expanded. Our own awareness expanded so we can see more. You know, this same picture we've been going through many times, but after your sharing, I've learned more. And that enables me to share it back in a way that is, more beneficial to other people. So that's the beauty and the power of transformative knowledge. Not much information, same set of information, but new way of looking, new way of connecting, and our awareness has expanded. Okay, so great job today, Ji Hua. Okay, energy is very balanced. Um, so as you go back and thủ đắc, okay, as you go back and imprint the sharing that I've done and other people have done, you can start to pay attention to those little nuances. This is where mastery comes into place. You've already a mentor, you've already have the knowledge, but it's mastery is getting those tiny little nuances and making those tiny little connections and being able to cause a shift in awareness with every sentence that you speak. Okay, with the master class, you have to be able to share a concept in 5 minutes, not take a whole hour. Okay, to see if you can, yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
Let's have somebody give it a try. Let's Phuc and Ron, would you care to share? Let me ask chị Nguyễn, who is this? Cho đây chị là Khánh and Nguyễn gì đó? Nguyễn Ngọc Liên, chị Liên. Are you in Mentor 7? Big number in the ID, that's Mentor 7, huh?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
7.
Are you guys ready to do some sharing? Just want to practice? Any topic that you that impresses you, that you're interested in, and you want to practice? This little Zoom is for you guys. Okay, this is for you guys to practice. Because you sooner or later you're gonna have to do it.
I'm not ready to share because it is my first time to join this this room, so just want to hear and as you know, I heard about the boat, the principle of life, but when I hear you and Chị Hoa sharing, and I feel a little bit different, maybe because we expand the awareness. So yes, I love to try. This room is for the next time, and again sharing more.
Yeah, when you want to do it next time, you want to give it a try next time. Every you.
No. I just attended.
Okay, thank you so much, Eileen. Okay, so yeah, we'll see you again. What about chị Khánh, Lê Xuân Khánh? How did you? Are you on? Are you still on the Zoom? What brought you to us, chị Khánh?
Yeah, I'm on the Zoom right now, and I'm attending Miss Hoa and Mr. Frank for sharing the lessons. As Miss Lin said, because we study in Vietnamese, like in Vietnamese lessons, so we expand our knowledge. But when I listen your sharing, I see that quite simple in English. I have a questions just like in my how I can share the lessons like you guys because I haven't used spoken English for a long time, like 4 or 5 years, and not quite confident to share the lessons and the ways to know. But when I heard your sharing about like the key point of the knowledge or the key point
Awareness.
Yeah, awareness. Yeah, and then I just feel like I'm interested in that because that is the key point to emphasize the content, the context, and this is to get like attached to the listener mind. Yeah, I really love that. And now I am on the way to practice the way on the way to practice how to share the knowledge in English. Yeah, thanks so much.
Wonderful,
Yeah,
wonderful.
that's all.
Okay, yeah. Well, the simplest way to learn is to do. Okay? The simplest way to
Yeah, I
learn is to
know.
do. Okay? And though all of you guys are mentors, or chị Khánh, have you taken the mentor courses or no?
I'm on mentor 7.
7. Okay. So we all
Yeah,
understand the concept of công đức phước đức, which is blessing and merit. Okay? We have to
yeah,
realize that to be able to be in a Zoom and to be exposed to the knowledge, to be able to learn, that is to be fortunate. Okay, that is to be very blessed. And to be blessed and we to be able to enjoy the knowledge is to use up your blessing, to use up your fortune. If we keep studying and we keep on joining the Zoom and we can listen and we keep on acquiring, it is equivalent to using up your good fortune. And if you just study and listen and we never create value for other people, in other words, if we never share it back, then we will actually use up our good fortune. And over time, our life won't get better. The people who learn this the fastest are the people who they have the courage to actually share it, to create value for other people, even when we don't know anything, even if our speech is messed up, even our knowledge is all over the place. Okay, mine was like that too. But it is the act of sharing with other people and the intention that I'm here to help another person transform. It is the desire for other people. It is a positive desire to help another person transform with my sharing. That earns us the credit in our blessings and our good fortune account. Do you get that? So
yeah, I got that.
the sooner we jump in and share it, the faster that we will learn, and we will protect our own good fortune and our own blessing and merit in terms of knowledge. Okay, so I highly recommend those of you, chị Khánh and chị Liên, set the intention of sharing next week. Even if doesn't have to be doesn't have to be principle of light, doesn't have to be the boat. It could be anything that you've learned in Mentor 7, anything. But set the intention. You share 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but just do the sharing. Okay, do the sharing. And as you get
Thank
better,
you.
Ji Hua has already graduated Mentor 6, so she can do the whole hour. For those of you who are new, just set the intention of sharing something for, 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay? So that is my
Okay.
invitation for you guys, those of you who are Jillian and Jikan, for next week. Okay?
Yeah. I at the same house with Ron
Oh,
and Mr. Phuc as
okay.
well. So
Okay, there you go.
339 house.
See? So they're just like you. They're all Mentor 7. They all started like you. And so, with that in
You
mind,
know,
yeah.
We
Yeah.
are same boat.
Yeah, we are the same boat.
Okay. Yeah, with that in mind, would Ron or Ji Phuc like to do some sharing today?
I just find it like it's so easy to share gossip. But when somebody wants to share knowledge about something, wisdom, awareness, and all that, it's a lot harder. It's like if you hear something negative, you go to the next person. Oh, did you hear this about this person or whatever? And it's so easy to share that. But when it comes to sharing knowledge, it's different. People don't want to share knowledge as much as they want to share gossip
Well, for
or
me,
negative
I'm
things.
fortunate to be in the other boat. I cannot
Mhm.
find it. I cannot share gossip at work and stuff like that. When people are just talking, I'm like, I don't want to hear that, and I don't transmit any of that stuff. at work and in my social interaction, I always trying to find ways to expand people's awareness.
Hmm.
That is just my good blessing and fortune.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, go ahead, Ron. You go first.
I just really enjoyed today's lesson because every time I hear it, I always learn a little bit more. Um, like how to describe the key points, where to make the transition between each each topic, like going from the boat to the dark room and then to the house. Yeah, every time I hear it, I learn more, and I appreciate that. It's
Yeah.
the light is becoming brighter for me. I
Yeah.
still have a few shadows in the room, but the light is becoming brighter.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. Okay. And not only the transition from one picture to another picture, but transition between pieces within that picture. Right? From the boat to the current, from the current to the alignment to the reverse direction. So that step by step by step, every time you put your pen down is a transition. So let's have you guys
Yes.
try.
Take Frank. So we just finished the tree reference system, and we're going to have the test on it, right?
What is that? What are you supposed to do?
I think, I don't know, it would be the group test or the individual test. And I don't know that the test would be just focused on the tree reference system that we just learned,
Mm-hmm.
or it would be a lottery exam. Like we will pick out the topic by the lottery machine or something.
Mm-hmm. I don't
Oh
know.
my,
I don't know. In the past, what do we do? I think I don't know. What did I? What do I remember what my test was like? I think it's individual. I think it's individual. Um, I don't remember what my test was like, but yeah, I think the lottery will ask you to share basically any part of the reference system. Um, you know, in its simplest term, if you can go through and share the root cause formula, if you can go through and share the triangle of reality, and if you can go through and share the human structure or energetic structure, um, which is a vast which is a vast topic. So, uh, you can practice it here, or anything you want.
I think Ron already this couple time with the formula of the root cause of
Right.
life.
That's a simple one.
Yeah. So I think it kind of like every time we do and we listen to it, it kind of simpler and simpler. So I
Mm-hmm.
hope that we can. But the reality triangle is we never do. So
Okay.
I
You want
may
to try it?
try the yeah.
You want to do it right now?
I don't know if how much time I have. Do you have time? I don't
I
want to
have I
use
have
up all
time. I
the.
have time. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. There you go.
So
So let
thank you for take Frank, who has been diligently and wholeheartedly spending time with us and guiding us how to learn the knowledge and how to share on the Zoom and stuff. And thank you for everyone being here in the Zoom today. Um, your presence is the gift to me this morning. So thank you so much. So today I would like to talk about the triangle of reality. That's one of the big topic that we have just learned um, the last week. It belongs to the tree reference system. So I'm going to start my sharing. Oh, yeah, I need to share my camera.
mm-hmm.
Everyone see it?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So to start of the topic, I would like to introduce a word. It is leverage point that I have learned from Thầy Anh, and I love this. A leverage point. So I'm going to write down. Lever.
Elevera. Leverage. Leve.
Leve.
Ra.
Rage. Right.
Leverage.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still working on the vocabulary.
Leverage point is the lever. Get it? The lever. The lever is something that you use to hold. The lever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a leverage. Yeah.
So leverage is the adjective, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So a leverage point is a point or a fulcrum that we can lean on in order to be strong, to stand out. Every one of us in life, we need a leverage point, whether for the physical or mental support. We may easily to look for physical support from external, but how about our mental? How about our inner being? As a human being, we are just a weak creature and have potential to be suffer from the impermanent. They are saying, lean on the mountain will be collapsed. Lean on people and people will leave. So it looks like nothing is permanent for us to lean on from the external. So do we have anything from inside of us to help ourselves? Seeing the body and the inner being are a unified project, a unified object that exists at the same moment from beginning to last. So why don't we find out what we have to support our life instead of rely on something from external? This idea is the most precious gift for us, but we often forgot. So we are the only person that we can lean on until the last minute. Do you agree with me? That we are the person that we lean on to the last minute. Therefore, ourselves is the most reliable leverage point. But the question is, how do we make ourselves become the best leverage point on our own stake? The sage has explained that human beings usually rely on the three major perspectives to answer the most questions in life. Regardless of the environment in which a person lives, no matter where they live, their life can be influenced by the perspective of science, relation, and belief, and the moral philosophy. Each of us influenced by one or more of the viewpoints. For example, about marriage, about parenting, about health, about relationship, and it will be influence in all aspects of our life. Just like Mr. Frank has mentioned before, that our life is focused on the four areas, that's the inner being, health, relationship, and finances. And we often make judgment based on the principle that we follow. So some of us will rely on the moral philosophy to explain anything that happened to us, but some other people will rely on the religion or belief, and some other will rely on the science view. But no matter what perspective that we follow, it's very clear that we are all influenced by the three viewpoints in our life. And therefore, understanding what we have within ourselves, and how to strengthen our inner being to become the best leverage point from these perspective is crucial, very crucial. So the sage has shown us that these three perspectives corresponding to the three reference system that is, which is the triangle of reality, the human energetic structure, and the formula of the root cause of life. These are the whole key set to open most of the door in the human life. So by understanding three system of reference, we can answer most of the big questions, enable us to live a simple life, is to live a life that is simple, more joyful, more trustworthy, and peaceful. So today, I will talk about the triangle of reality. So we're going to look. So we're going to look deeply in what is the cause inside of us, and how it affects our life, and how to make it into a good cause, and that we can use as our best leverage. As we know, every object, human or phenomenal, is always exists under the three types, which are information, energy, and material. These are also the three-dimensional of the triangle of reality. So so I'm going to. I forgot to draw my diagram. Okay, so I'm going to give you another page. So first I'm going to draw the triangle. And the triangle that have in the information here in the information triangle, we have moral, philosophy, and in the top here we have the religion. And then it will be the science here. So corresponding to these three angles, it will be the reality of triangle, the triangle of reality, triangle. Of reality. And then the religion here, it will be the human energetic structure. Human energetic. Structure. In the last corner will be the formula. The formula of root cause of life. Okay, so these are the three reference systems. And today I'm going to focus on just the triangle of reality. So I'm going to use another page. And I'm going to draw another triangle. Reality. Okay. So as I mentioned before, that every object in human and phenomena is already exist under three types that which are information, energy, and material. So I'm going to write down this is information, energy, and material. So our internal reality is shaped by what we know, what we believe, and what we understand. So I'm going to write down the information is what we know in here. So know in here. And this will be belief. And understanding. And understand. So these are also the key component of what we call the source concept. I'm sorry. Which is encompassed with all the three angles of the triangle. So to understand of the triangle of reality, I would like to just go on a basic concept about the reality triangle of us. So we use we try to look we will look deeply to see what we have in between us. All of us, we all have information, we all have energy, and we all have the material. And in the information, we have, now we go into a smaller triangle in the triangle of information. So it will be another triangle inside of the information. It will be the know, the belief, and the understand. So inside of the information between us, that is the know, the believe, and the understand. Are you up to here with me? So the information between us consists of what we know, what we believe, and what we understand. So it will be another, to make it clear, it will be another triangle in the angle of information. So it will be like this. It will be belief here. It will be know, and it will be understand. So what I want to show that this angle is inside of the corner of the information. So this is another triangle, and this is the triangle within us, the triangle that's showing what we know, what we believe, and what we understand. So from this angle, we use this small angle to use as a tool to receive reality and also to transmit the reality. So I love this triangle because since I know this triangle, I can figure out how I copy from others. For example, if we talk about the happiness, so um, so if we talk about happiness, right? So I'm going to write down the angle of the happiness. Happiness. Okay. So the angle of the happiness. So if I see a person who are very happy with their life, and I would like to have the reality, the same reality of them. What should they do? So I would like to go to to look deep to see what is the information of that person about the happiness. It means what they know about happiness, what they believe about the happiness, and what they understand. What they know about happiness, what they believe about the happiness, and what they understand of happiness. So um, so I have learned that in a happy person, they have in the information of the happiness, this is the state of inner satisfaction. It will be state. I know that we have to write in capital letters, but I forgot. State of satisfaction. And in the energy of that person, of the person that have happiness, it will be um, it will be the mentality. It will be mentality. Mentality. It means the people that have the inner peace, have tolerance, and honor and gratitude. No, gratitude. Honor gratitude. And in the angle of the material, the manifestation, the material manifestation is that is showing that the person who happy will live in they have the living state from the level 5 up. So it will be level 5 up. So it means they will have success, health, and harmonious relationships. So this is the triangle of the happiness. It's just an example of the triangle. So from the basics um, triangle of reality, we can go to look for all many other triangle. For example, we can see the triangle of the success, triangle of health, triangle of good finance, or parenting. So we can based on the triangle of knowing, believing, and understanding that we can have a reality, and we can use that triangle um, to transform or transmit or to receive the reality. But I also have learned that even though the triangle of reality have the information, the energy, and the material, but sometimes, what if we only have the information? Like we see a reality of the happiness, and we don't have the energy or the material yet. But how do we can we transmit the happiness to other people? And I have learned that it's possible because by the way that we cultivate the information, and we can use that information um, to to transmit to others, and gradually we will have the energy. Gradually we will have the energy, and then eventually it will material manifestation. So sometimes we can receive, we can transmit the reality just by the information. So that's what I have learned, and I would like to share with you. Thank you for listening.
Very good. Very good. Look now, every time chị Tâm Phúc share, it's so adorable. Okay. Um, the triangle, make sure the corners of the triangle meet.
Yes,
They're not triangle if they don't
that
meet. Okay.
I can
Like,
see that I wrote this one is in like I mix up with the capitalized in the
yeah,
normal
yeah, that's
the
fine.
never
Yeah.
letter. So it's not I need to mastering my inner being.
And it's okay. When we draw the triangle, we make it meet, but later on, we can break that and we not even draw a triangle anymore. Especially when we get to open concept like wisdom, you notice that when
Oh,
teacher thường thường teacher gì thầy chí kiên and stuff, when they talk about wisdom, we don't draw the triangle inside the we just draw the word wisdom, and then yeah, we just draw a line pointing out from it.
yes, I
Yeah,
remember that.
line. Yeah, okay. So just if you're gonna draw the triangle, make the triangle pretty. Okay. Um,
Yeah,
and then right. Okay. Awareness.
yeah,
Awareness. Yeah. Say that we know awareness. Okay. Another
yeah.
comment is that make the color the same level. So go back to the triangle picture. Um, okay. Good. Okay. Yeah, you did it correct. Okay. Everything you did all of those correct. Um, there was another one. Why didn't you have another page? Didn't
Yeah.
you have another triangle? Yeah. So make sure that honor gratitude. I think the official translation now is honoring gratitude. So make sure you use that the same color as a state of satisfaction. Oh no. Uh,
Oh,
these are the same. And this thing I want to explain.
Okay, no wonder. Okay, yeah, good. Okay, good. Okay, you did it great. Okay, so um, if you're doing the test and stuff like that, if your time is limited, then you don't need to talk too much about the leverage point. The leverage
Yeah.
point is an important awareness that thầy Nhật Anh want us mentor to have and to know. But if your time is limited, you don't need to spend too much time talking about that. Instead, just go straight to the triangle of reality. Okay, it is
Yeah.
only when a person have these tools already, if only after they have it been introduced to the 3 reference points already, then you can make the point that the 3 reference points are the fulcrum or the point of leverage that we can use to basically leverage and do anything you want with your life. But um, at our level of studying, I recommend that you pretend that the people you're talking to is like a new person. Yeah, because ultimately we're gonna be meeting new people. Okay, so um, have the mentality, have the awareness that the people you're talking to is gonna be a perfectly new stranger. Like Dr. Tuấn earlier, he's probably like a new person. Okay, he's probably never been introduced or very rarely introduced. So you want to talk in such a way that a person who's never been introduced to the philosophy can understand as well, right? And so with that, then with the introduction of the reality triangle, go back to the go ahead and bring the one that says the information, the energy, and the material. Right. With this, we want to really paint the picture of the reality as a triangle of reality. So we have to begin by saying, okay, everything you have to, this is once again establishing the awareness, right? Getting the participant to agree with you, establishing a clear picture of what they know. Everything in the world. Let me do the sharing while I talk. So you say, today I'm gonna be sharing with you a concept called the reality triangle. Okay, today I'm going to be sharing with you the concept of reality triangle. And say, okay, everything in this world that we can feel, that we can see, that we can taste, that we can measure, or even become aware of, has a material expression. Right? If we can touch it, it's a material. If we can feel it, it's material. If we can measure it, it's material. And in this philosophy, we include things that we can become aware. That is a material expression. Okay, notice I'm taking it slowly, step by step. We paint a very clear picture of this corner. Everything in this world, matter. The word material comes from matter, right? Matter. Okay, we use the scientific approach. This is where we're actually using the scientific approach to sharing about the moral philosophy approach. Do you get that just now? There's a worldly view. We're using the worldly view, the scientific view. Okay, we say matter. Everything in this universe that has matter is just material. Okay, every matter. When scientists study matter, they discover that every matter has a certain energy vibration. Okay, and this is where you bring in the example of lead and gold. You have to begin with something that people really understand already. Lead and gold each have a unique material expression. Right? We establish that awareness. Everybody's aware of lead and gold. But now we're tying that. Those are material expression. lead materializes in a way that is kind of dull and gray. Gold has a material expression that is really yellow and shiny. We already painted a clear picture, right? Lead and gold. They both have material expression. And then you say, when scientists study lead and gold, they notice that lead have a different energy vibration, and gold has a different energy vibration. And the specific energy vibration of lead give rise to a specific material expression of lead that we see as dull, and the specific energy vibration of gold has a specific material expression that make gold shiny. Right now, the participant has a clear picture of the connection between material and energy. We have to make that connection. Otherwise, we just throw in and say information, energy, material. It's all blurry. It's all ambiguous. Why did you make those words up? No, we make a clear connection using what the other person already know. They know lead and gold has a different material expression. We introduce the idea that they have an energy vibration, and that is drawn from scientific research. Okay, we say scientists study lead and gold, and they have an energy vibration. The specific energy vibration will give rise to a specific material expression. So this is a way that we're sharing the triangle of reality to a person who's never been introduced to philosophy before. What you've been done earlier is you have shared it from a mentors to other mentors. That's fine, but ultimately what we want to do is to share the knowledge to as many people, including and especially the people who have not known. So always assume that the person you're talking to doesn't know anything. Okay, so you have to walk them through step by step. Okay, because as a mentor, when you talk to other mentor, they already know. Even what you say is wrong or doesn't make sense, they'll know. Especially if they have tolerance and magnanimity, they'll be tolerant and magnanimous with you. But when we talk to a person who's never been introduced to philosophy, we have to take the time to paint a clear picture and make the strong connection from one point to another. Okay, there's a material expression. The material expression comes from a specific energy vibration. And so now we have that connection. Okay, we are sure that the listener has gotten. Now we say some more. Okay, scientists study some more. They look deeper and deeper into lead and gold, and they discover that at the most fundamental level, lead has a different configuration of protons and electrons. Gold has a different configuration of protons and electrons, and they call that information. Okay, and that's what in the science of quantum physics, quantum mechanics, that's physics. That's what it is. It is information. Okay, information. Okay, so lead has a specific arrangement of information that give it a specific energy vibration, which give it a specific material expression. And you have to repeat it. Gold has a specific arrangement of information that gives it a specific energy vibration that would give it a specific material expression that we see as shininess. Okay, and the next point is important. Next one is a point of awareness. If we can change the information, then we can change the energy, and then we can change the material. Scientists have been able to change the information within lead, the configuration of protons and electrons. They have been able to change the information of lead to match the information of gold, and therefore they have been able to change lead into gold. Okay? Scientists have been able to change lead into gold. That's an important key awareness that we have to make sure the person knows that you can change the information, and then you will be able to change the material expression. And so, okay, now we get the people. Oh, okay, yeah, there's a realization. If you change the information, you change the material expression, and now we apply to the non-material things like happiness. Okay, when we introduce the idea of happiness, we want to establish a person's existing awareness. We ask, okay, would you agree that happiness has a certain material expression? Can you see when somebody is happy? Can we feel happiness, or at least become aware of it? So happiness has a certain material expression, which is different from sadness. Sadness has a certain material expression. Okay, and so we asked the participant, okay, do you agree that happiness and sadness, those are material expression of a human being, right? And if happiness has a certain material expression, then it must have some energy vibration and it must have some information. Sadness has some material expression, it has some energy vibration, and so sadness has some information. And just as we can change the information of lead to match the information of gold, thereby turning lead into gold, then we can change the information within a sad person to match the information within a happy person, thereby changing a sad person into a happy person. You have to make that step-by-step connection. If you don't make that step-by-step connection, if we don't establish that awareness, then it's already blurry, the foundation is blurry, then whatever point you make next is going to be blurry, and they're not going to experience a transformation. Okay, once you have that, then you can go through, okay, well, guess what? The information, okay, so what is the information within us? What is the information within a human being? What is the information? Then you can go in and say, okay, the information within us is made up of what we know, what we understand, okay, and, believe, what we know, what we believe, and this pen is about to be retired, and what we understand, okay, what we know, what we believe, and what we understand makes up the information within us. Okay, what we know, so those are the foundational pieces of the triangle of reality that we kind of have to go through before we talk about bigger things. So when it comes to happiness, guess what? The information inside a person with respect to happiness is what we know about happiness, what we believe about happiness, and what we understand about happiness. Because the information within anything represent the material expression of it, then the information that we have about happiness represent our material expression of happiness, which means that what we know about happiness, what we believe about happiness, and what we understand about happiness represent our material expression of happiness. In other words, represent our reality of happiness. We have to make that step-by-step connection before we go in and give the other state of satisfaction. Because the mentors already know that, you skip through that. But I invite you that in your sharing, even in your test, okay, just pretend that you're talking to people who doesn't know anything. And you want to take them to step by step. And as you do that, you actually help other mentors know how to do it the right way. Okay? Yeah. Once you have that, the know, the believe,
Frank,
yeah.
can you please repeat again what we believe about happiness?
Okay, what we know about happiness, what we believe about happiness, what we understand about happiness, represent our reality of happiness. Okay, that is a script that you should memorize. Okay, what we know about happiness, what we know about happiness, what we believe about happiness, and what we understand about happiness represent our reality of happiness. Another way of saying that,
Is it is it the source concept about happiness
Exactly,
too, right?
yes. So that which we know about happiness, that which we believe about happiness, that which we understand about happiness, represent our source, in another word, our source concept of happiness. Okay? So our knowing, our believing, and our understanding represent our source concept. So when mentioning anything, what we know about that thing, what we believe about that thing, what we understand about that thing represent our source concept of that thing.
Thank you.
Okay? Which represent our reality of that thing. So you have to make those connections. The source concept is just the in-between stuff. That's a convenience so that later on when we talk about source concept, we know that we're talking about knowing, believing, understanding. Okay?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Step by step, walk through. Okay? Step.
I like
Okay?
the way
Step
you guide us, the way you explain,
by,
the
yeah.
way you yeah, step by step. So it make it easier for the listener and like for us to follow you.
Exactly. So that's the key. Okay? Step by step walkthrough. Because if you don't do the step by step walkthrough, you lose them. imagine, holding a child's hand, and instead of walking him or her through the crowd, you just kind of run ahead and you leave them behind. They're gonna get lost. Same thing. A person who's never been introduced to the philosophy, we need to do a step by step walkthrough, line by line, words by words. And so, as we go through our day, while we're working or while we're driving, just practice talking to, first practice sharing in your head. Okay? Does each of our statement have a logical progression from the previous statement? A equals B, A equals B, and then B equals C, and then C equals D, and then D equals E, and therefore A equals E. If we don't do this process and we just jump in and say A equals B and then, A equals E, it's going to get confusing. That's what it is. A equals B, you have to show that B equals C, you have to go C that equals D, you have to show D equals E, and then you make the summary, you draw the ultimate connection, A equals E. That is transformation right there. That is transformation. Right? Whereas A equals B, that's a small step. It's easy, it's simple, easy for people to get. B equals C, easier for people to get. C equals D, easy for people to get. D equals E, easy for people to get. But if you're trying to prove that A equals E, that's a long distance. You have to do the step by step walkthrough. Otherwise, they're not gonna believe you. They're not gonna get it. A transformation is a change that is in leaps and bounds, right? Transformation is a big change. But the only way to get to the big change is you show them the little step in between. Okay?
Thank you, Take Friend.
Okay.
How do we remember? How do we memorize the script? Like when we talk, and then there are a lot of script, and we need to like exactly say word by word. How do we remember that?
Imprint. So let me see if I can find. So I don't think that I don't know if that thầy Nhật Anh went through that to give you the script. But in Mentor 5, we had to practice over and over and over the script. So let me see if I can find it in English. You guys just kind of you just look at my English and then.
I have this. Do you see my book?
Your what?
Do you see my book?
Oh, hang on. Okay.
Yes. So Should I memorize it?
Yeah. See if you can find it. See if you can find what page is that. Go ahead and find a page on the find a page in the on the,
Okay. Let's see.
triangle of reality. Giác hiện thực. Go up to TA. Cái trang kia. The page on the left. Page on the left before you. This is TH already. You want to TA tam giác là TA.
Oh.
On the left side, Is there anything on tam giác hiện thực?
No.
There has to be tam giác hiện thực. It's such an hoặc là let me see if I can find it in my TA. Okay, TTTTCS. There's no tam giác hiện thực in here. What in the world? What about hệ quy chiếu? Maybe it's in the hệ quy chiếu. HGH. Hệ quy chiếu. Page 85. Let's look at page 85 and you can see if you can find page 85.
85 is khái niệm nguồn có lợi.
Page 85, you in khái niệm nguồn hả? Tư vấn huấn luyện tam giác hiện thực. So go back. Right there. Right, tư vấn huấn luyện tam giác hiện thực. You just there. Go back to that page. You just tam giác hiện thực. Okay, now let's look to see the script. Okay, khái niệm nguồn hệ quy chiếu là gì? Keep on going. Keep on flipping. Okay, 3 hệ quy chiếu chuẩn kết hợp 3 đó hiện thực trọng điểm nhận thức. Thông tin động nhiên nhận thức giúp con người nhận chuyển. Okay. Okay, chủ đề. It doesn't have the script. Okay. That right there. Thông tin con người chúng ta là những gì chúng ta biết. Okay, những gì chúng ta biết đó. That's memorize that. Okay, that's in Vietnamese. And then I know I've done it in English. Okay, so let me see if I can find my English. So I'll post the English script for you guys. Let's see. My channels. Let's see. Playlist. My house of holistic health. Where's my channel? I'll find my channel so I can find it. Okay. Let's take a look at this one. Human nature, character, with humbleness, wisdom, attitude, gratitude, serenity, reality triangle. Let me share my second screen to see what happened. I'm going to share my second screen. This one with audio. Okay.
Hi chị Hoa. How is the recording?
Switch gear a little bit.
Recording. Can you do it?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
The audio recorder anh Lương has shown us.
The audio. The other day Luân was showing us.
Yeah.
We haven't tried yet.
A blend.
So I did record it. but I didn't share out because I don't want to confuse people. I don't want because Thầy Frank also record his and the week daily have it, but this is the audio. If you want it, I can share for Ron to use.
Yes, we'll talk about that then. Let's see. Thank you.
Let's take
Thank
a
you.
look
And
at
let's
take
see
a look
if
at this one. You guys see my screen, right? My share screen.
Okay.
Physicality to it. It's an energy component and
So
has
in
a
the
basic
past, this is old one. This is an old one where I use a different word, physicality.
information
That's
that give
okay.
rise to that. What
Are
we
you
believe
sharing your screen, Thầy Frank?
Can you see that?
I can't see it.
and what
How?
You don't see that?
I
Hang
saw
on,
We
you.
can see it over
hang
here.
on, let me
Oh,
move your screen. I'm gonna share this one. Share
earlier
second.
we were able to, yeah.
Okay, can you see that now? Can you see my screen now? My
Yeah. Okay.
we
I
understand.
see the video clip,
yeah,
right?
okay, yeah.
Understand about finance.
Here we go.
Represent
Here's the script.
understand of life. If only if you know what the information is. So we apply that to human life and experience. If we are looking for the inner seed within us, if we're looking for the root cause within us that will give rise to the life that we have, what is the information within us? Okay, what is the information within each of us that will give rise to the kind of reality that we experience today? Okay, so from the common sense perspective, the information within us is simply what we know, what we believe, and what we understand. Okay, what we know, what we believe, what we understand. What we know about something, what we believe something, what we understand about something is going to give rise to our reality of that something. So if scientists can change lead into gold by changing the information within lead, so it'll match the energy and the physicality of gold, then we can ask the question, if we change our life, then all we gotta do is change what we know, what we believe, and what we understand about life. So when we think about happiness, do you notice that a happy person has a certain physicality to it that is different from a sad person? We can see it, we can hear it from the voice, we can sense it. So we get to ask, okay, what is it about a happy person? What kind of information that is inside a happy person that is different from a sad person? And more importantly, how do we change the information of a sad person into the information of a happy person so that that person will experience the energy and the physicality of a happy person? Very simple, right? So the seed within us is that which we know, what we believe, and that which we understand. So when we think about happiness, that which we know about happiness, that which we believe about happiness,
right there,
and that which we understand about happiness represent our reality of happiness. It's that simple. If we can change what we know about and believe and understand about happiness, we're gonna change our reality of happiness. When mentioning health, right? You notice a healthy person look and feel differently than a sick person. They have a different physicality. And so what we know about health, what we believe about health, what we understand about health represent our reality of health.
Okay, that's a script.
And
right
if we
there.
can change what we know, what we believe, what we understand about health, we can change our reality of health. We apply the same thing to marriage. What we know about marriage, what we believe about marriage, what we understand about marriage represent our reality of marriage. Okay? And all we're going to do for a person who is unhappy in their marriage to become a person who is happy in a marriage is to change what they know, they believe, and what they understand about marriage. Same thing with finance. Okay? A person who is materially rich versus a person who is materially poor. When thinking about finance, what we know about finance, what we believe about finance, what we understand about finance represent our reality of finance. What we know, what we believe, what we understand, there's another word for that. It's called our source concept. That's a script. Okay? The information within us about any aspect of life is called our source concept. From the source concept, we can build the energy and we can build the material manifestation, the physicality. When speaking of raising children, what we know about raising children, what we believe about raising children, what we understand about raising children, represent our source concept of raising children, and thereby representing our reality of raising children. Okay, so if you look at my my playlist, this is a 24-hour KO3-9. Okay, so you're gonna make a note of that. I'll copy that YouTube link for you guys, and then I'll show you another link. I'll put this one in the meeting chat room. Okay, so you can take that from the chat, and then let me show you another one. It is the other one, the Who Are We Mastering Our Humanity. It is season 4, episode 6.
Here. Yeah, trying to get the word.
And our awareness of it. Okay, here we go. A reality for the continuation of our little journey. Okay, the journey to expand our awareness about us. This lab has a reality triangle to it, which is on the material expression, and basically anything that we can see, hear, touch, feel, measure, or become aware of has a material expression. Okay, we simply call that our reality. Okay, it is real if we can see it, touch it, measure it, put word to it, become aware of it. Okay, so whether it's a material object or a non-material concept such as... Let's do this one. Okay, hello, everybody. I think this one.
Hey, Frank.
And ship the disobey every time the bone by changing the arrangement of proton and electron, the numbers of protons and electrons.
Like seed what,
Yeah.
right?
Seed, or work on the seed and nurture the seed, that contain a lot of visual and
whatever. So I have a choice, when and my daughter in the past was.
That is their material expression. Okay, so we ask. Scientists can change lead into gold by changing the arrangement of proton and electron, the number to the number, and it's going to be gold. It's that simple. Everything in measure, touch, feel, taste, and now we're going to expand it. Anything that can become aware of is a material expression. That material expression comes from some energetic component, and that energy component came from some specific, basic, fundamental information, the way it is made up. Okay, that is the physical world. Let's extend that to the humanistic view. Would you agree that a person who is happy has a certain material expression of happiness that is different from a person who is sad? Yeah, right? A person who is happy look, feel, talk differently than a person who's sad. You can tell right away. That is their material expression. Okay, so we ask if they have if a person who's sad and a person who is happy has a different material expression, what is the energy component? Okay, and if they have a different energy component, what's the information within that person? What is the information within a sad person that is different than the information that is in a happy person? And if we can change the information within the sad person to equate the information within the happy person, guess what? The energy is going to change and the material expression will change. If you can turn lead into gold, you can turn a sad person into a happy person. What about a person who is successful versus a person who has failed? The material expression of the person who is successful is going to be different than the material expression of a person who has failed. Okay? The energy is different, the information is different. All you gotta do is change the information and you will get a different expression. What about a person who is healthy versus a person who is sick? Right, same thing. Material expression and information. Yes, Miriam.
So when we are talking about the triangle of reality, you want to use different example. Okay, so after we explain the lead and gold, we go and we talk about happiness. Okay, I type that in the chat. Then we talk about you can use things like health. Okay, example of a healthy person. You can use the example of inner peace, right? Inner peace. Right? What is the material? What you know, what you believe, when you understand about inner peace. Okay, things like raising children. Okay, so those are the example. What do we know about raising children? What do we believe about raising children? What do we understand about raising children? Represent our reality, represent our source concept of raising children, represent our material expression of raising children. Let me see, does that video, okay, I think that video goes into, okay, let's see if I jump forward, okay.
Several sessions, we've been helping you expand, including things like self is yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
To change yourself is the beginning of happiness. You want to write that one down and you can study it. To expect change in others is the beginning of suffering. Okay, and not happiness. It will try, including things like success, including things we see within us. Okay, we're talking about the triangle of reality. Everything has a material expression, including things like happiness, including things like success, including things like healthy relationship. Okay, it has an energy component. We'll talk about that later. It has an information. Okay, so if we're gonna try to change the outcome of our life, which is the material expression, what are the information within us?
Okay, so now we're going to go.
Guess what we've been doing?
I remember, Frank, his name, we changed.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. So guess what we've been doing this past, so that the information within us will change. Okay, when it comes to a human being, the information within us is, we're going to draw another triangle. Okay, in fact, just write it down here. The information within us, okay, is what we know, what we believe, and what we understand. Okay, I'm just going to keep it that simple.
For your test, you should
what
put
we
it
know,
into the
what we
triangle.
believe, and what we understand.
The
In the inner being courses that I will probably go back to after this whole series on understanding humanity, we'll get more into the philosophical discussion on what it means to
Basically, what we know, what we believe, and what we understand makes up the information within us.
That's the script. Okay,
Just like the proton and the electron makes up the construction of lead and gold. What we know, what we believe, and what we understand makes up the information within us, and the information within us eventually will manifest in material form in terms of our life experience. Okay, this is the causality of human life and experience. And the cause of human life experience, the seed, is what we know, what we believe, and what we understand. Okay, another word we use that. So from now on, when we refer to the information within us, when we refer to the knowledge and belief and understanding within us, basically that which makes up our perception and awareness, okay, is we call it the source concept. Okay, so this is just a technical terminology. And when every time I say source concept, just know that I'm talking about what we know, what we believe, what we understand. In other words, when mentioning things like happiness, what we know about happiness, what we believe about happiness, what we understand about happiness, makes up the source concept, represent the source concept of happiness, which then will represent our reality of happiness. Okay, over here, the material expression is the reality, okay, of life. Okay? When mentioning relationship, what we know about relationship, what we believe about relationship, what we understand about relationship, represent our source concept of relationship, represent our reality of relationship. Okay, so when a person have a certain knowledge, belief, and understanding that is negative, they have a negative source concept or unbeneficial source concept, guess what? The reality of that is going to be negative and undesirable as well. So we want to change the reality of life. We change what we know, change what we believe, change what we understand. Turn it from negative to positive. It's just a
Okay. So always have to come back to a conclusion. Okay, you go from A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, all that stuff, but you always have to come back to, if we want to change our life, we change what we know, we change what we believe, we change what we understand. We change our source concept, we change our information, we will ultimately change the material expression. Okay, so I send you a couple of links in the chat, and you can imprint those, just kind of watch over and just kind of memorize the script. Okay. Is there? I think the team has already. I think the translation team. Let me see if I have the script in writing, so you can look at it too. Let's see. I think we have it somewhere. 3 reference system. Oh, beautiful. Ah, beautiful. Okay. Let me share this. Let's see. So do you guys all have access to this file, the khái niệm nguồn, the team KNN file? Or maybe I'll just text this to you into the. I just copy this one, copy paste into the chat box, and then you can copy paste into. Oh, too long. Too long. Let me think. What's the best way for me to get that to you guys?
Individual. Can you send to me and Ron? And is there anyone that want to?
Yeah, I can. I'll send this to you guys since you guys are here. But this file, you have it, right? Do you guys have this file? Have anybody given you access to this file where you have all of these translations and vocabularies? No?
I think you did send to us through email, right?
Okay.
What if I do this? Does it show up? No, not that. I don't want to do that. If I do,
I think the house 339, the link to go into, but I
there you go.
forgot.
It's in the Zoom. It's in the Telegram now. So in the Telegram for our engine of value creation, okay, you can copy. Yeah, you should see it now. The information within us is that which we know, that which we believe, that which we understand. Represent the information within us. Represent our life reality. When mentioning anything, the way we know it, the way we believe it, the way we understand it, represent the information within us about it, represent our reality of it. That which we know, that which we believe, that which we understand, in other words, our source concept, represent the information within us, represent the reality of our life. When mentioning anything, the way we know it, the way we believe it, the way we understand it, in other words, what source concept we have about it, represent the information within us about it, represent our life reality of it. And then at the bottom is when you plug in, when mentioning happiness, the way we know happiness, the way we believe happiness, the way we understand happiness. In other words, what source concept we have about happiness, represent the information within us about happiness, represent the reality of happiness of our life. Okay, and then you repeat that when mentioning health, the way we know health, the way we believe in health, the way we understand health. In other words, what source concept we have about health, represent the information within us about health, represent the reality of a happiness of the reality of health of our life. Okay, do you get that? Do you see that in the Telegram?
Yes.
Okay, so that's that. Okay, yeah. So just plug that in to happiness, health, serenity, inner peace, finances, right? When mentioning finances, the way we know finance, the way we believe finances, the way we understand finances. In other words, what source concept we have about finances, represent the information within us about finances, represent our reality of finances of our life. Okay? Okay. That. Memorize that. Memorize that script. Okay? Until you can say it. Any question? It's like midnight over at Phuc. No, not midnight.
No.
We're in the day. Okay, there's no Vietnamese people in here. It's chị Nguyễn Thị Liên, chị Nguyễn Ngọc Liên. It's midnight for her. Maybe.
We use up your whole morning. Thank you so much, Ekran.
That's fine. I enjoy it. So I enjoy it. It's a pleasure. Yeah. Okay. So you can practice on your own. If you have time, you want to try it. You can read it. Go ahead and read it and plug something in. Why don't you read from the I can split that up into two pieces in the chat box. Put that into the chat box, and then I split that piece into the chat box. And we can read it together in the Zoom, and then there we go. I'll put that in the Zoom. So there are three pieces all together. Now you can scroll up, and you can go back, look in the chat box. Right now we can read the chat box. Go ahead, give it a try. Phuc, and then Hoa, and then Ron.
I want to imprint Ron, the native speaker.
Okay, Ron, you read it. Ron, read the chat box. The information within us.
Yeah, where's the chat box?
On the middle of the bottom, you click on the chat.
The chat box will not. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Did you see the latest three message? So the information within us.
Okay. The information within us is what we know, that which we believe, that which we understand, represents the information within us, represents our life reality. When mentioning anything, the way we know it, the way we believe it, the way we understand it, represents the information within us about it, represents our reality of it. That which we know, that which we believe, that which we understand. In other words, our source concept represents the information within us, represents the reality of our life. When mentioning anything that we know it, that we believe it, that we understand
the way we know it.
the way.
When mentioning anything, the way we believe it.
Oh, yes, the way we know it, the way we believe it, the way we understand it. In other words, the source concept we have about it represents the information within us about it, represents our life reality of it. When mentioning happiness, the way we know, happiness, the way we believe, happiness, the way we understand, happiness, in other words, what source concept we have about happiness represents the information within us about happiness, represent the reality of happiness of our life.
There you go. Okay. you can plug that in using other concepts like raising children, relationship, investment. Okay.
So, Thầy Frank, when we sharing, we need to say all these.
You should say it. Yeah.
How can we do it in 5 minutes? How can we do it in 5 minutes? It's a lot of script.
Then you
not just this.
You can. Okay. Yeah. So you figure it out. I don't know how many minutes you will get. I don't know how many minutes you'll get. Yeah, you can practice and time yourself. Huh?
Can we look on the screen? Can we have the material on the screen and we just look at it and then we talk and look at it and talk and then we writing? Can we do that?
I'm not gonna say you can or cannot. Okay. So when I first did the test, I didn't look at anything and so my test was very terrible. But if you look at the screen, and you read, it won't look natural. So I'll let you guys figure that one out. The more you practice, the more natural it will become, and then you won't need it anymore.
Yes. Hi, Frank. So last time we did that test is half an hour. Well, within half an hour for each person. And chị Tâm Phuc, you and Ron and your house will practice on your own. And then you guys give each other a constructive feedback. And that's how you practice. It will be good. It's an awesome experience.
I think our house needs to visit more often. So we can do this as a group and share amongst each other as well. That we get to feel what level everybody's at and where we're at. And
what times are you guys meeting?
We're meeting Tuesday after class.
Tuesdays?
Tuesday after class.
Tuesday, our time?
Tuesday.
Or Tuesday, Vietnam time?
Oh, yeah, sorry. That would be Tuesday, Monday there. No, what is it? I forget. That's all confusing.
It will be Monday night in my time. It means morning Tuesday in Vietnam.
Okay.
Yeah. Tuesday morning.
What time in Vietnam? Let's talk Vietnam time. What time in Vietnam?
It will be Tuesday morning about 7:30 a.m.
So that is 4 p.m. for me. 4 p.m. for me and Ron, right? 4:30 p.m. for me and Ron.
Right after class, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it'd be like 7:30 or 8.
For you. Okay.
Like 8 in the morning.
Okay.
So it'd be 5 for you. It'd be 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes the class took long. The class lasts until like 8.
Okay. Do you ever? Okay. Well, that's just for you guys to practice on your own, right? No teachers allowed or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
I think our whole house should come here, should be in this Zoom, because it's very useful with Thầy Frank guided very detailed, and I feel.
What time is it now in Australia? Because that's the problem is half your classes in Australia.
They're 4 hours ahead of Vietnam.
Really? So they're okay, right? In Australia, I mean they're different parts of Australia. They're pretty big, but they are Um, 2 a.m. Yeah, so they're
Not
sleeping. That's
happening.
why we can never get we can never get the Australian into this Zoom.
Not
The only time is
happening.
the only time for them would be our evenings. Would be our evenings.
Mm, right. Australia is 4 hours ahead of Vietnam.
Mhm.
Yeah. You were in New York time, chị Tâm Phúc?
Yeah.
Yes.
Got yeah. Correct. Yeah. Awesome.
So you in Canada, right? In Vancouver or?
We in Vancouver. We're the same time zone as Frank.
Yeah.
Well, I live in Buffalo, and it's the border of the
Of
Canada.
Canada, yes.
Yeah,
Toronto.
yes, by the Niagara Falls.
Wow.
One day I will have to visit Niagara Falls from both sides, from the U.S. and then Canada. That is one of my dream travel.
Yeah.
My dream travel is very limited. I don't really care to go very far, but I would like to see Niagara Falls on both sides of the border.
I've lived in Canada all my life. I haven't been back east. I don't even know Canada. I haven't gone any further than Alberta.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna take my son to the dentist, get his dental checkup. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday night or next Saturday. Okay.
Thank you
Actually,
so
I'll be
much.
interpreting tomorrow in the
Valuable
mentor class.
information.
Yeah,
Yes.
see you guys
Thank
later.
you, Frank.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye, chị Tâm
Thank
Phúc.
you, Tim, folks. Bye, everyone.